me that's not Darla from Finding Nemo. I'm a hobgoblin, okay? I just like to collect weird, wacky things, okay? That's clever, that's cool. Let's pretend it's cool. Heyo guys, what's going on? I hope you're doing well. I'm kind of starting this video off a little bit chaotically, but that's okay. I have a collab video with April from Happily Ever April, of course. I'll link down her channel and her video down below. But she's completely redoing her bookshelves and she's gonna create like a bunch of decor for it, and she's doing DIY. She asked me if I wanted to do some stuff too, because I like to be crafty. If you remember my Fabio video.
Fabio.
I can't believe it's not done.
Then you know I like weird shit. So that's what I'm gonna make. Those are gonna be my DIYs. I have a couple planned for you guys. We'll talk about it in a sec, but it's all like cartoon crazy based. Where April's stuff is much more like sophisticated and cohesive. I'm more the chaos end of the spectrum, okay? So you got the best of both worlds, all right? But why don't we just jump right on into this bad mama jamma and create some cartoony weirdness? All right. Let's go game plan it. So I have 3 projects that I'm gonna do. I will go through this stuff as a DIY so you guys can kind of replicate it, but I have 3 projects, honestly, that aren't really book related. They're more movie cartoon related, but I'm a hobgoblin, okay? I just like to collect weird, wacky things. But anyways, I digress. The 3 projects that I have, one of them I think is gonna be very practical. I don't know about you guys, but I recently got into like annotating, and I do it a lot with the Sisterhood of the Traveling Book, and I do it every month. So my friend Carissa, she bought me tons of highlighters and tons, like I mean tons of little Post-its. So I want a cool place to kind of keep this and be able just to grab, right? So I have a little box that I picked up from the thrift store. I'm gonna sand it, paint it, do all that jazz, and kind of turn it into a Fantasia masterpiece because I love Fantasia. If you saw my recent video with like hot cartoon characters, you know I had a crush on the crocodile. Okay. The next thing I'm gonna do is I got this little couch from Dollar Tree and they're still there, so you guys can do this too. But I'm sure y'all have seen Powerpuff Girls. And you know who him is? I'm gonna make him out of clay and put him on the couch, okay? He's gonna be cool. There is a purpose for this too, all right? This little couch has a cutout in the back, so I'm gonna be able to keep my box of matches right underneath it. That way they're hidden and I can just have him being all sexy and devilish on my bookcase or on one of my mini shelves. All right, and then lastly, I have this squishy that I bought forever ago. I did get this on Facebook Marketplace. I'm sure if you just look up squishies on like eBay, Facebook Marketplace, maybe you'll see something at a thrift store. You'll find something similar too. But tell me that's not Darla from Finding Nemo, okay? So I'm gonna completely paint her, revamp her, and just turn her into Darla. She's just a knickknack. She doesn't really have a purpose, but I mean, the purpose is to make me smile and laugh. Okay, those are my 3 projects. I will teach you how to paint a squishy so it doesn't get destroyed. We will make a thing that hides our matches. Okay, that's clever, that's cool. Let's pretend it's cool. And then we're gonna completely revamp a box and turn it into an annotation box to hold all my highlighters, my pens, my Post-its, or you could do it to like keep your bookmarks, because I also have another box that I use that holds all my bookmarks. But enough chit-chatting, let's get going on this bad mama jamma. So, move to the table. I'm going to go ahead and get started, but before I pick one project, which I'll leave in chapters down below for you guys if you just want to see one specific thing from start to finish. But before I actually do that, I'm going to do something to all of these projects because I'm working with wood, plastic, and foam. I need to scratch up the surface, so I'm going to go ahead and sand everything down, wipe it off with a cloth, and then take a coat of gesso, which is a specific white paint that has a little extra grit to it. I'll cover all of it, and then that way, any painting I do in the future on these projects isn't gonna basically peel off in a month. So if you guys do these, my hot tip, my biggest tip probably out of this whole video is that you actually sand it and gesso it before you start, okay? So let me do that. So as far as prepping goes, if you buy anything from the thrift store, there's likely a sticker on it. So quick tip, just take isopropyl alcohol, rub it off, use your nail to get off any little remainder bits, and then just wipe it down, and you won't have any more goopy mess. But after that, that's when you need to start sanding, which make sure you wear a mask and eyewear, please. Also, make sure you sand with the grain, because if you don't, you're gonna see a bunch of circular scratches in your paint. So just trust me, go with the grain. But other than that, make sure that whatever your material is, you sand it. I don't care if it's fabric, you still need to sand it, wipe it down, and then gesso it. That will make sure that your entire thing's prepped and ready to go. Now the other thing I did, which you guys may or may not need to do, is I had to clean outside this really dirty old box. So I just used a lint roller, and I quickly realized that if I just rolled off the sheets or peeled it off and stuck it on the insides, that it works really well. Please ignore my singing face. I was enjoying myself, as you can tell here. Anyways, the tape works. So while those are freaking drying, those are taking a little bit longer than I thought they would. But while that's drying, I'm gonna start working on sculpting him. So the easiest way that I think we can do this, because it's not like I'm a master sculptor, you guys, I've done a couple things. I did Fabio. So that's a majority of my work. But the simplest way I think we do this is if we just break it down into shapes, because he seems like a relatively simple character. I just have to make him three-dimensional. So I'm just gonna kind of mark this up and put all the different shapes that I'm seeing and then work from there to add in the details. Make sense? Good. In case it didn't make sense, here's a picture with some images of the general shapes. I hope this helps. So here's what I got. So I have like his scarf around the head itself, scarf for the torso, hands, arms, and legs. Now it's time for the details. All right, so for the sculpt and paint, I'm not going to show you everything, but I have some tips. So for the skirt and scarf, you take a log and you put these little lines in it, so it looks like this baguette that you guys see. But if you put your pinky in between each of those divots and just kind of round it out, it will kind of create this bubble shape, which is perfect. You honestly just want to keep everything simple. Don't overthink it. Like here, I'm doing the boot, which is just a log and a little cut at the bottom to create a stiletto. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Always keep that in mind. And then I just have a flat little rectangle that I'm about to wrap around the boot and pinch in the back. So I create the little triangle shape that you see here. And as you can tell, it's simple. It's supposed to be cartoony, so, don't overthink it. But anyways, for the lips, keeping with that theme, I just kind of pushed in his face to create a little hole and then created a tiny, skinny little log that I wrapped around the mouth and just kind of formed into the shape that I liked. Same with the nose. Again, simple triangle, smush it onto the face. Don't overthink it. Now the eyes, I have another tip. If you put those little holes, like you push into the actual face again, and you create a space to where the eyes can kind of fit into, you just let it sit on top and you push it straight in. That will keep them from falling off. The clay will stick better that way. It's also just more three-dimensional, so it looks better. As you can see, I added a little bit of wire for his eyelashes, but I think it honestly looks pretty damn good compared to the image. So once I did all of that, I baked it, and then I'm ready to paint. So biggest tip is red as a bitch. I'm going to say it now. So you need to have an undercoat that's more of like a pinky color, mix white and the red that you're going to use, and create an entire base layer across everything. Don't worry about covering the eyes or whatever's not really going to be red. It's just going to help. So as you can see here, we go from this to this. Nice bright red, and that was just a single coat. So highly recommend you have the undercoat. Now, as far as details go, I have this pointer little tool. I got this at Dollar Tree. Honestly, it's still there. So if you don't have one, highly recommend you go get it. But I use this whenever I need dots, so it's perfect for pupils and whenever I do cartoon work, and it was only $1, so highly recommend. But anyways, I did go off some of the colors that you see in the picture, and I decided to do a purple lip. Make it your own. That's what I did. So I did the rest of his face, and then I kind of finished out the boots, finished out the belt, and called it a day, and it was set and ready to go. So after that, you just kind of got to glue it together. The main thing is having this be in separate pieces, because when you're posing him, it's very hard to make the pieces baked in this pose, so you need to have it as separate pieces and glue it at the end. I promise you, it's not going to look tchotchke. It also helps with posing, as you can tell with the arm. It's way easier to put the arm behind his head when I can put the arm or the head on top of the arm later. All right? But this is it.
Yes. Delicious.
Okay, sanding and priming's now done. My sunshine's gone, so this is dark, but deal with it. But now that the priming's done, this is what the gesso looks like. So it's just kind of a roughly even layer of white. It doesn't need to be perfect, just FYI. And the next step is literally very easily taking tracing paper, or not tracing paper, sorry, charcoal paper or graphite paper if you go to Michael's, taking your image, whatever one you want, to the size that you want it, put down your paper, put down your image, trace it with a pen. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay, this is very easy. So I'm gonna go do this off camera and then we can start the whole painting side of it. But it's basically just like working in a coloring book, babe. All right, easy peasy lemon squeezy. So I'll see you in a minute. So here's the image. I did mess up. So I used the graphite paper, but I did it on top of the gesso. Instead, if this is your gesso layer, paint your background, then put your actual image on top, then paint the background with the details, and then you paint your foreground, which in my case is the characters. So this is what it ends up looking like when I'm done painting. So I'm very happy with it. But if you want a little bit closer look, here you go. Okay, next project now. So I have Darla and I'm using a squishy. Again, you don't have to use a squishy. You could use whatever toy you already see, or I don't know, a sculpture at the thrift store that you already see. Scratch it up, gesso it. But if it's this sort of fabric where it's foamy or any other fabric-based material, don't use gesso, use some sort of fabric paint, which, quick tip, if you have a bunch of acrylic paint like I do, if you don't have fabric paint, just buy a fabric mixer and you mix it in with your normal paint. Bada bing, bada boom, you got fabric paint, okay? I messed up when I was priming and I completely forgot about that, and I was gessoing all my projects at once. So I used gesso on this. Not a smart idea. Even though I'm not gonna be squishing it, you can see it's already cracking. Maybe you can see it, but you can see it's already cracking because it's not fabric paint. So I'm just gonna have to work with that, but I wanted to give you guys a heads up in case you buy a squishy yourself. All right, but besides that, as far as actual project goes, once you prime everything and you get all these colors covered, it does take like 6 to 7 coats. Don't be like discouraged if you feel like it's not getting covered. It takes a lot of coats, okay? But once you have this completely covered and it's white, you're just gonna color block it. So that's what I'm gonna go do. And then after all of that, we'll add the details, okay? If you don't know what color blocking is, you're just putting the colors in the zones that you need. So her dress, its main color. Her face, the main color. Her hair, the main color. So on and so forth. I think you're catching my drift here. So let me go ahead and get these base colors on and then we'll do the details. All right? So here's the base colors. I feel like you can already see Darla. It looks good, but now it's time for the face, which I'm sorry, but just to show you again, I'm going with simple shapes. So I drew this out. This is what I'm basically gonna draw onto the face itself using a paintbrush and some flesh tone paint, and I created this. You're welcome. But anyways, I apparently moved on to the skirt. So to create a plaid effect, I honestly just did some thick checkered lines basically, and then some skinny ones. And I feel like it worked pretty damn well. This is basically what it came out to. You know, I think it's good enough. And then any divots that already existed in the foam, like the little hairlines, I added a little extra detail. And then I started to work on her face. which, I'm sorry, this is disturbing. But I used a lot of black space in her teeth because I felt like it was creepier. And as you can tell, I creeped myself out. Look at that. That's disturbing. But anyways, the eyeballs, I just kept simple blue. I didn't do a lot of detail. You can see the nose has detail, which I think makes this really creepy. But the eyes were simple. Jesus Christ. Anyways, the daughter tool's coming back out, so I can tell you, it's useful. Go get one. But I used it for her braces, and then I also used it for her pupils later on. So I'm really sorry for what I'm about to do. Oh, no, it's not there yet. Oh, foreshadowing. Anyways, freckles, added freckles. It looks like crap in the beginning, but once you do it all the way across, it works. You see? It's pretty good. But anyways, headgear time. I pulled out some wire. I kind of made it a curve, wrapped it around her face, and stuck it in her ears. I added a little bit of glue to kind of help it stay, but that's really all I did. I didn't overthink it. And as you can tell, this is what it's like before the glue, but it does stay up. Anyways, I then decided to be creepy and add a little dead fish bag. So I just, took a teardrop shape of clay, painted on a dead fish. What can I say? But anyways, she's done. Okay, it's finally done. It took way longer than a freaking day, by the way. Don't know what I was thinking, but here we are. It's more like a day per project, so just heads up. It wouldn't take the whole day, but you can't do all 3 in a day. That was way too ambitious. But the easiest project out of all of them was him. Then I would say it's the box, because that's like a coloring page, honestly. Once you use the graphite paper to trace whatever image you want, it's just a coloring page. That's it. But the damn squishy, that took a while, all right? Just because it took like 8 freaking layers of white paint before it was covered. So just heads up on that one. But I hope you guys like that. I know it's chaos. I warned you in the beginning that I'm not exactly a person who has like sophistication and cohesion in her room. But if you want that, and also if you don't want it, go look at April's video. She showed me pictures of her bookcase. Honestly, her whole series around her bookcase, you should go watch. She did such a stellar freaking job. All of her stuff looks really cool. She has fun DIY projects. Go check it out. I'll link it down below. But anyways, I am done. I'm happy. The only thing is my box. You can see it from this angle. I don't like the black. This is Disney, so it needs more zhuzh, it needs a little more pizzazz. So I might add some stars onto it. I was originally going to have it be a blue box, but I got worried that it was going to blend in with the picture I already did, and I overthunk it, I over-frickin' thunk it. So I need to add some stars or something. But other than that, I adore my stuff. I like it. It's fun. It's very me. It's kooky. Which, that's what you get with me. So, anyways, I hope you liked that. If you did, please let me know. I want to try and do more creative stuff on my channel. It just takes a while because you got to do the art and the editing and all that. But I do want to do more of it. So, I want to know if you guys would like to see that. Otherwise, I'll just do that on my own time, I guess. But anyways, I hope you have a great rest of your week. And happy reading and making stuff. Bye.